It is 2025, and if you are in sales, you know how chaotic it can get. Well, could be because of AI dominance, well researched buyers leaving you on read, or hard crushing quotas. But there's no stopping for people who love sales. And today I have with me two such souls. One an entry level rep, RN Mittal, and the other experienced professional in the field of sales, Ekta Sharma. Let's talk to them and find out how they are navigating success in B2B sales in SaaS. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Tyler. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Are you ready for the sales talk?
Sure, we are excited.
Okay. So my suggestion would be to be raw, honest, and just spill it out.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So first things first, right? You are an experienced professional and you are just an entry level rep. What made you join sales in the first place? Why sales?
Okay, so if I tell you about myself, I consider myself as a very extrovert guy, and I love communicating with people. I love like when our mother tell us to take something from the vendor and we do some negotiations. So I have experienced that and love doing that. So I thought to give it a shot. Jungle Works reached in our campus, and I thought let's apply. And as of now, I'm really loving the process and involving in the process.
Right. So you're going by your instinct.
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Ekta?
So, Tyra, I believe that this is the only department in a company where you are representing the company to the client.
Right.
Okay, you're the first touch point for the client, and that is why it is one of the most challenging and rewarding role in every company.
Right.
So, saying that, the level of satisfaction that you get when you close deals, and the confidence built up that you have when you interact with so many people from different backgrounds is what drives you.
Right, great answer. But sales is hard too, and we'll talk about the hard part as well. But first, let's address the elephant in the room, the buzzword AI. You know, AI is more of your generation, okay,
Yes.
because it is very recent, and you've also worked without AI. So now AI in sales, how do you look at it, and how important do you think it is for sales today? Ekta, would you like to answer that? Because you were there, you did sales when AI was not there.
Yeah. So if I talk about earlier automation was very less.
Yeah.
Okay. There were less AI tools and basic tools were available. A lot of work was manual. Even if we had to write an email, we had to brainstorm with the value proposition, write it down, and rework on it.
Yeah.
Now AI in sales, as I see now, is very relevant because it has automated the manual part of the sales, and therefore gives more time for us to focus on conversations and closures rather than focusing our energy on the manual process.
Right. And it is being called as the Gen Z tool. They can't do anything without AI. So do you think they're over dependent on AI? Does that annoy you as an experienced professional?
Ask me, I mean, I do have people in my team who
Yeah.
use a lot of AI tools. They are sending me emails, or and to clients generating it from AI. So yes, it's something that lacks a personal touch, but I still feel you can use it to a certain extent. But over depending on AI is just something that I feel should not be there. And currently, if you're talking to a CEO or CXO, they would always like to have a personalized interaction
Right.
in terms of knowing how your services can help. So at the initial level, yes, AI is okay when they're booking a meeting or maybe sending an email. But at the back of it, there should be a human interaction.
So ChatGPT is your best friend, right?
Yeah, and it's my family member as of now.
Okay. So what would you like to say about your family member?
So I would say that my family member is helping me a lot. So first of all, I would not say that it's making me lazy, but definitely I'll add that it's making me a lot of creative, because in order to get something from a family member, I need to tell I need to put some prompts in that, and for that I need to be creative. How best answer can I get from that tool? So yes, it's making it's putting a lot of creativity in ourselves. And also, if I talk about sales, AI in sales, surely it's benefiting us a lot. Yes, it's reducing a lot of manual efforts, but we are able to put our efforts in other positions which require our attention. Let's say in client communication, where we need to talk ourselves manually. Even if I tell about ChatGPT, it's also telling the scripts which I need to push to client, but it's me who will communicate with the client. So yeah, it's helping me a lot, but yes, we need to put some manual efforts in order to get the best results from that.
What all areas you're using AI and what all tools you are using?
So just ChatGPT is one, and if I talk about marketing tools, we have Apollo. Let's say if I don't know your email, I don't know your phone number, so I'll just go to Apollo, I'll find that, and I'll search Tahira there, and then Apollo will give me the results. How can I reach out to you? So Apollo is there, Lucia is there. There are various marketing
Prospecting, you're saying.
tools. Yes,
It is
prospecting,
yes.
which we need in outreaching the people.
Right.
Yes.
And Ekta, what tools are you using?
So ChatGPT is one, of course.
What do you
Everybody is
use
using that.
ChatGPT for?
So I use it to, let's say, maybe know about what is going on with respect to a competitor. Some, collated info at one place, or let's say if I have to, like, based on scenario-based pitches, for that thing I'm using it for, just to get an idea.
Okay.
And knowing about a certain feature or tool that client refers to.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's all. Apart from that, I am using Outplay.
Okay.
So Outplay has got a lot of AI modules that is helping my team. So there is, like, you can create AI-based automated sequences that helps my team shooting emails, reaching out on LinkedIn,
Right.
and even shooting SMSs and WhatsApp.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you seen the effect of AI on closure rates as well? Have you closed any deal because of AI?
Yes. So in the month of May, our company Jungleworks was shifting to outbound. So then we started outreaching people. So there was a guy, and we were contacting the 3PL companies present in Qatar region. So there was a guy, when I reached out to him, I put some emails, he contacted me. But then I don't know, but he saw my LinkedIn profile, and I had put something about Toucan there, how it's managing the deliveries efficiently. So he found my profile interesting, and he told me that we can connect on LinkedIn itself. So that's how we are able to connect with the client. That's how we close the deal also.
Right. Okay. Moving on to the next part, strategy is a very important part of sales, and how these two different individuals strategize is very important for us to know. So, what is your strategy like?
Okay, so it depends on the people to people. Some people require more push, so then we need to be more active on the platform where they are active. But some people, they just need more on the information, like what's our products, and they need to know more about our clients. There we just need to what do we say, like the playbook style. Okay, so we have the steps, and we cover that. But in some areas we need to push ourselves to certain limits. Let's say if someone is not replying on the emails, we try to prospect them on the WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, on Instagrams and all. So I try to do that, and my first and foremost step is to make a contact with the client, howsoever, whatever steps you take. And the second step involves I have to schedule a demo so that I can show my product, but exactly I'm providing it to them. And if it's relevant, then we try to close the deal. That's how the process is.
Right. So he explained the process, Ekta. Is it the same for you, or has it changed over the years, or is it something different today?
So, there is a concept of tried and tested playbook, right?
Yeah.
So people tend to follow that, but I feel that now the time has changed. So a mix of both is required. Like, for millennials, you can work with tried and tested playbooks, but for young leaders, for the new generation, you need to understand and evolve these selling strategies.
Right.
So for me, interaction with both kind of generations, comes with a learning, and that's how I evolve the strategy.
Also, these days, building trust or maintaining a relationship or establishing a relationship is being talked about a lot in sales. How do you build that trust, or how do you prep for that call, that first call, or those few follow-up calls? Ekta?
So it's important to research about the person you are going to speak to and the company, and understand, like, how your service and product can help them. Basically, it gives or helps you to create a value on the call, so that you are able to generate the intent or interest in them about your company and services.
Right.
So that is how I follow, and how I try to build trust.
And what about you?
So I already mentioned many things, but adding to that, so first call is always a difficult because it's just about the introduction. But telling about the trust, I try to take much questions from the client so that I can present the features accordingly, so that I can tell him that yes, this is something which we are providing. So yeah, in my process, I try to take questions, I try to take queries from the team and connect them with the relevant team from ourselves, so that they can know, yes, we are providing the right services in terms of customer success management.
What is your first line?
to the clients.
Yeah.
In terms
When
of calling.
when you're cold calling.
Yeah, I say like, hi Tahira, how are you doing? How's your day going? So
Yeah.
that's my first line, and then I tell you that yes, so you just signed on the platform. So what are you looking for? How can we help you? That's how I proceed.
Okay, but that's an inbound thing.
Yes.
If in case of an outbound call, since you are leading the outbound team, what would be your best first line call opener?
So call opener is always an introduction,
Okay.
that where the person is calling from, and then yes, with a question. So that and the question should be such that most probably the client is going to answer, okay, go ahead, or yes to that. So that kind of counter questions we try to put as the second line, so that we take the conversation.
So a lot of research is done before the first call in case of outbound, right?
Yes.
And it was the same earlier as well. What has changed?
So what has changed is the research is still there, but now you have got a lot of tools that help you with that research compared to earlier, where you have to brainstorm everything. For research also it used to take time because you have to look at a lot of sources manually. And now everything is available, all the information is available handy. You can just type in and find any information.
So
it has
the
been a lot
process is the
easier.
same. It's just that tools are aiding now. Right. Okay. So everybody knows that sales is freaking hard, and a lot of sales reps they struggle with mental health as well because sometimes it's a lot of money and sometimes there are those gloomy days. So did you ever think about that before coming into sales or after coming into sales? And share us your experience. How have you been dealing with that, the ups and downs? Whoever wants to go first.
So actually never gave it a thought before coming, but yes, when in sales, of course, there are ups and downs, there are approvals and rejections.
Yeah.
Right? But what I have learned is that sales is a consistent process. You need to keep going. So you should not get very disheartened when there is a rejection and not very overwhelmingly happy, when there is an approval. You should just believe in the process and keep doing your best and be consistent in the process. You'll be able to achieve your numbers and be consistent.
What about you, Arvind? Because 3 months no sale, you're out.
Yes. So I heard about that before joining, but I thought, okay, let's try it. But thanks. I've always got the best management. Let's say there are times when I was not able to meet the expectations, but there are people in the company that keep pushing that. Okay, you can try this. Maybe you're doing this thing wrong. You can try that. So that has eventually helped me. And yes, I mean it's a tougher process, but yes, this is something which we have to deal with.
Okay. So, are you doing any meditations?
No, I mean, I'm kind of a chill guy and I
Oh.
don't think about much about that. I try to remain the zone. When I'm working, I'm just working, and when I go to, I don't think much about it. So that's
So when you can't close a deal, does it frustrate you?
Yes, sure. I mean, it has happened many times. There are times when client was just about to close
then
the
they
deal,
ghost you.
and then I mean, there are the times that are the most difficult ones to deal with. But I mean, it also depends on the management you're working with, and if they are supporting you, and then you eventually grow up and eventually learn something from that.
Yeah, so as you said, like these are experiences, so you need to learn from it and then improvise.
Right. That's the spirit I think every sales guy should have. Okay, talking about that, let's move on to a very important part: money or commissions or compensations. It is a glamorous industry because there's a lot of money involved, especially in B2B, right? And it is very tough also, equally on that side. But are you satisfied with the kind of money it is getting, or would you like a different pay structure? I would like to ask you what kind of a pay structure it was earlier and how has it evolved over the years with the new generation coming in?
See, as you also mentioned that it's tough,
Yeah.
So at the same time, it's the most rewarding profile
Right.
you can have in the company. So reward structure was earlier there also, and it's now also.
Right.
So if you are performing, you are rewarded. So that is what I would say. It does not change much over the years. The
Okay.
rewards are still there, which keeps you motivated, to keep going on the targets and achieve.
Okay, and that's how it should be.
Of course, who do not like rewards?
Yeah.
If you are incentivized on achieving something, then you feel motivated and you strive to achieve it.
Yeah. What kind of rewards would you like? Cash or kind?
Of course, cash.
And what about you?
I love to have both actually, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Apart from cash, what do you want?
I mean, it would be good if I can get holidays once I meet the targets. If you know, maybe we can get into some parties and so all these kind of things. I think apart from money, these are also essentials for me. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so now just to close it and close it on a fun note, I have a quick rapid fire with you guys. So just 5 basic questions. You have to choose quickly and then answer the why as well. Okay, so anybody can answer. Okay, vibes or structure?
Structure.
Vibes.
Vibe.
Structure helps you being consistent.
And good vibes create good thoughts and good creativity, and eventually it helps in sales. And also, environment is very tougher in sales, so yeah, we need good vibes so that you can chill out in some time.
Okay, so good structural vibes we can say. Quotas kill creativity. True or false?
I would say false.
Why?
Quotas are important in sales, okay? And you can be creative about achieving them. So you can use your creative mind on how to achieve, how to close, and achieve more.
What about you?
I think quotas do create some pressure. Yeah, I think it's true because eventually for creativity you need to try and test some things, and eventually there are times when you're not able to meet the quotas. But apart from that, in sales, quotas are also quota play a very essential role to meet the targets and all this kind of things.
Okay, I won't land you in trouble now. So moving on to the next question. Scripted intros or custom cold openers? Cold openers.
Mixture actually depends on the people. Sometimes you need to do research and you need to put some scripted efforts there, but sometimes also you can try and test out the things to as well as working for you or not.
Okay.
On this, I agree with him because introduction can be scripted, but of course the conversation has to change based on what the client tells you or how the conversation goes.
Okay. Yeah. What pisses you off with modern sales?
I would say nothing. I believe that they must go hand in hand because if you see the traditional approach, it was more towards product centric and leveraging relationships, and the modern sales is more based on using tools and automation to get the sales done. So I think both together, implementing them together can be a good sales strategy.
Okay. What about you?
And don't know about modern sales, but in sales, something which pisses me is when you are putting a lot of efforts and then you eventually know that your emails are going in spam folders and your customers are not able to see that. There's something which pisses me. And apart from that, when you're having a good customer, you know that they are going to get onboarded, but then they just move away.
Ghost you, yeah.
They just ghost you. So that's also a very frustrating feeling. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not in modern sales. It's like forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So your cringiest call ever?
Yet mine is yet to arrive.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the lucky one. Would you like to?
Yeah,
You're quite new, but you might have had a bad experience as well.
Yeah, I would tell you my cringiest call. So there was this guy, Nigerian guy. Okay, so when I first called him, he told me that he needs a software. He owns 3 different grocery stores, and he needs software for that. Okay, then he said, okay, we'll have a day after tomorrow conversation. Then I again called him. He said me, no, I don't have 3 grocery stores. I own actually multiple cinema halls. Okay, and I need software for that so that my customers can book the services. Okay, I said okay, no worries. So then Friday came, and then I again contacted on Monday. Then I saw on the WhatsApp that the guy is plumber, and I called him, and eventually he said he don't want the software. He don't know why he took the ball at that time. As something just
Hard luck, no problem.
Yeah.
But you'll have a lot of these kind of calls and a
Yes.
lot of good calls also. I think Ekta can tell you better. Ekta, how do we motivate him?
So yeah, you learn of course from
Yeah.
every call, and then you get better and better to the point where you are always confident about talking and how to own the client. So you'll
Yes.
get there.
Okay, so that was a fun conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it too,
Yeah.
and people watching us will enjoy it too. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Saira. Thanks.
Thank you.